So the bookshelf tour that I've been talking about for days and weeks is finally out, and I can't tell you how relieved I am. So yes, these are the books, and I got this IKEA bookshelf a couple of months back, probably about 2 months back. I got it for about 7,000 rupees, which I felt was a pretty good deal. It's made of engineered wood, but then it seems pretty sturdy actually. So I'm pretty happy with the bookshelf, and I arranged a couple of books. So let's get started with the bookshelf tour. Hi everyone, I'm Archana Balasubramaniam and welcome to my YouTube channel. So the very first book I'm showing you is my favorite. It's called The Cat Who Saved Books. It's by Susuke Natsukawa. And then the next one is called My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologizes by Frederick Backman. And then we have Ali Hazelwood's Love Theoretically. And then The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa. And then we have another book with one of the prettiest covers. It's called The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Look at how pretty the cover looks. And then we also have this book called Wonder. It's by Archie Palacio. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood again. You know how I have a love-hate relationship with her, right? The next book we have is called One Day in December. And then The Kite Runner. And then we have one of my favorites, The Palace of Illusions. Now we move on to my Mitch album collection, starting with Tuesdays with Maury. And I also have The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. And then I have For One More Day again by Mitch album. And then I have The First Phone Call from Heaven. This book is called The Buffer Girls by Margaret Dickinson. And then The Song of Achilles by Madeleine Miller. And then again back to Mitch album, it's called Have a Little Faith. If I like an author, I tend to collect most of their books. And then I have Hidden Talents by Erica James. And then I have Heart and Soul here. And then I have No Child of Mine. This one is called Heading Home by Katie Flynn. And then Very Valentine. And this is from the series called Angus Thong's Perfect Snogging. And then I have Confessions of an IT Employee and then The Wise Man Said. Moving on to my Mallory Towers collection, I got this one very recently at a discount at Sapna Book House because I've always loved Mallory Towers as a kid, and I wanted to collect a lot of Enid Blyton books. So these are actually consolidated into books, as in 3 volumes in one book. So I have Mallory Towers 1, 2, 3, and then the last one is the 4th one that you'll see right here that I'm going to show you now. I also got myself the Secret 7 collection. Again, this is divided into 4 books, so these are the books that you'll see here. The next one is a childhood favorite of mine. It's called Bimbo and Topsy, again by Enid Blyton. Even today I can read it as an adult and it still cracks me up. Now let's move on to my Millie Johnson collection. This one is called I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, which is one of my favorite books of hers. And then I have The Queen of Wishful Thinking. I don't know, I'm just so obsessed with all of her books. I just can't stop collecting them. As of now, I just have a few of them, but I intend to collect all her books. The next one is called Here Come the Girls. This is a very fun read by Millie Johnson. And then I have The Magnificent Mrs. Mayhew. This is how I started with my obsession for Millie Johnson. This one is called The Birds and the Bees, and I plan to read it sometime next month. This one is called Afternoon Tea at the Sunflower Cafe, one of my favorites again. I'm yet to read these. This one is called A Winter Flame. And then White Wedding. An Autumn Crush. I always want to have a Millie Johnson book to go back to after I read a couple of books. This one is one of my favorites. It's by Cheryl Strayed. It's called Tiny Beautiful Things. And then The Help by Catherine Stockett. And then I have Stephen Hawking's memoir here. This one here is my collection of Suki Stackhouse series. It's also called as the True Blood series. It was made into a series. So it's an urban fantasy. It has vampires, werewolves, fairies, and a lot of amazing stuff. It's one of my most favorite series ever, and that's why I have a whole collection of it. I'm yet to collect the last parts of the books because I read that as an ebook, but then I intend to collect that as well soon. And then I have this thriller called ICU. I plan to read this very soon. I got it from Blossoms recently. And then I also have The Woman Who Lied. Then I have this book called A Wish for Us. It's by Tilly Cole. I'd read her book Thousand Boy Kisses very recently. I think I read it in Jan or Feb this year. And then I have Five Survive by Holly Jackson. I also have The Maid. It's by Nita Bruce. And then I have One of Us is Lying. These three, Five Survive, One of Us is Lying, and The Maid, these three are borrowed books. I'm currently reading them because my cousin gave them to me. And the fairy lights you see in the background are for aesthetic purposes only, and it has been put on only because I'm shooting the video today, because that will give a better look. Okay, now we have Edgar Allan Poe's Eight Tales of Terror here with me. I have Emma by Jane Austen. I have Dracula by Bram Stoker. So this part of my book collection is for classics only, and that's why I've arranged it to this side here, and so that is also easily accessible. This one is Treasure Island by R.L. Stevenson. I also have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And then I have JNR here. I intend to collect a lot more classics that were a part of my childhood, and I want to actually put them up here in my bookshelf, but then these are the very few that I have at the moment. So I got these two books, The Picture of Dorian Gray and the other one is Wuthering Heights. So I got them, but then I didn't realize that they were actually the kids version of it. So I got them to add to my collection, but then when I ordered it online, it didn't seem like a kids book. So now you can see that there are illustrations in this, and obviously I have no way to return those. Now for my Enid Blyton obsession, I have the Find Outers here. I also have an obsession for Perry Mason books. So this one is called The Sunbather's Diary. I don't want to collect books unnecessarily for the sake of collecting it, but then if I really love something, I want to collect all of that. This one is Vikram Betal's stories, and you'll probably find a lot more Perry Mason books here, and I really want to collect all of Perry Mason books and read them all. This one is The Mystery of the Hidden House by Enid Blyton. This one is called The Mystery of Banshee Towers. So I also want to have my childhood favorites in some of these kiddish collections, because on a day when you're very stressed out and you don't even have the mind to read a proper book, I just want to go back to these kids books. So this one is my brother's book when he was a kid. I have it with me still. I'll probably pass it on to my niece now. And then I have Popular Stories of Panchatantra, a very short, small book. I have a bigger version of Panchatantra which I'll show you a little later. And then my dearest Sudha Murthy is the daughter of a wishing tree. This is one of her mythology tales. It's from the collection of her mythology tales. So these three are Geronimo Stilton's books. I love these. Actually, we got it for my brother initially when he was young, and then after that I ended up reading it. I was a little older then, but then I really enjoyed it, so I have this as well. And then I have the Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys Super Mystery, which I got very recently from Blossoms. and then another Nancy Drew mystery. Now, please don't think I'm telling that I want to collect them all, but then I really do intend to collect Nancy Drews as well because it's again a childhood favorite. This one is called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. I've been really wanting to read this book from a very long time and I hope to read it very shortly. This one here is actually a journal. It's called The Greatest Self-Help Book Ever Written is the one written by you. It's by Vex King. I want to show you a flip through of that book before I actually start writing in it. And this one is a Robin Sharma book. It's called The Everyday Hero Manifesto. And I have Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books. I read it this year because a friend gifted me this and she insisted that I read it. And I really, really love it. It's been helping me a lot actually. Okay, one more fact. I'm very obsessed with Ruskin Bond books. This one was a gift when I was a kid. It's called A Little Night Music. It's a collection of poems and short stories. It's by Ruskin Bond. I haven't read it in a very long time, but I think that includes short stories as well. This one is Soulful Simplicity by Courtney Carver. If you're someone who's looking into minimalism in any area of life, I think you should definitely pick up this book. I had water spilled all over it a very long time back, so that's why it's in a pretty bad condition. I have Kiss Chase by Fiona Walker. I'm yet to read this book. I got it, but then somehow I never got around to reading it. You should also know I'm a little obsessed with PG Wodehouse, so these two are from my PG Wodehouse collection. I think I just have two or three at the moment, but hopefully I collect a lot more of them soon. This ceramic planter is for decorative purposes only and I got it from IKEA. I just thought I'll show off a little bit. Okay, so this one is Amar Chitrakatha. It's a very old version of it, so you can see the tattooed pages, but I'm trying my best to preserve it. So it has Indian mythology tales in it. It has a collection of a couple of books put together. So now the books that I'm going to show you, these are from the Tinkle Origins. It has a lot of stories from Tinkle. I received this as a gift recently and I'm very happy about owning it. So it has about 6 volumes, and though the cover of it has probably Supandi or Raja Huja or Naziruddin, but the inside stories is a mix of all of that, so you don't have to worry about buying a particular book and thinking it's only dedicated to that particular character. No, you can buy any book and then it has all the characters in it. I've had this book, The Peak to Peak Principle, since ages and I've never gotten around to reading it. Hopefully this year, let's try and see if I can read that. And then the next book I have is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure you're very familiar with that. And then I have Make Epic Money by Ankur Warikoo. I'm a huge fan of Ankur Warikoo, his videos. I wouldn't say the same about his books, but I really love his videos a lot. But of course, I have not read this book yet. I've only read Do Epic Shit. I'm yet to read Get Epic Shit Done and all of that. And this is Attitude by Adam Ashton and Adam Jones. It's a consolidation of a lot of self-help books. This one is again by Vex King. It's called Good Vibes, Good Life. I really love his books. I've read only this so far, and that's why I got the journal and I intend to read his other books as well. Now I have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a very popular one again. I started off my year by reading this book. It's called The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. So that was my first Robin Sharma book, and ever since then I've been wanting to read all his books. That's why I got the Everyday Hero Manifesto as well. This one is called Never Split the Difference. It's a book on negotiation that I just started reading, but I'm yet to go further into it. This one is a pot that I made in my pottery class. I mean, a pottery workshop that I'd been to. Okay, this one is called How to Develop Self Confidence and Influence People by Public Speaking. I'm yet to get around to reading it, probably someday, but I think I'm already okay with public speaking so far. This is on 100 Great Relationships. It's a book again. This one is called Reflections of a Man. It's by Mr. Amari Soul. I really love this one as well. Very easy to read and a very beautiful book actually. This one is called Set Boundaries and Find Peace by Nedra Tawab. The next one is called The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with it. And now I have the series. It's called the Indigo Spell. I'm yet to read it and I don't even have the books of the other series. So I'm not even sure if I'll get around to reading this someday, but let's see. I also have Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I got this very recently at Blossom's Book House. I'd been wanting to read it from a long time. Then I have A Lesser Evil by Leslie Pierce. These are again probably Perry Mason books or Earl Stanley Gardner's books. This one is called You Are Dead by Peter James. If there is one genre that I have to pick and say it's my favorite, it is the thriller genre. I really love thrillers. I just love reading them and I can't get enough of them. This one is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. And then I also have Digital Fortress by Dan Brown. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but it was recommended by a friend, so I intend to read it sometime soon. This one is one of my favorites. It's called The Silent Patient, and I'm sure most of you know it. And if you haven't read it yet, please do check it out. It's one of the best thrillers ever. Now, I have this very pretty hardcover of The Great Gatsby. I have very few hardcovers, and this is one that I really, really admire. This one is The Time Traveler's Wife. Now, these three books are from the series The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, The Cruel Prince, and The Queen of Nothing. I also have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood here. And then this is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I recently got this memoir called How to Live When You Could Be Dead. I've been wanting to read it for a while now. It's by Deborah James. I also have The Day I Stopped Drinking Milk by Sudha Murthy. And then these are all my mythology collection. I have a lot of these and small magazines and small books probably connected to mythology or Amar Chitrakatha and things like that. So I don't really know if I should show it as a part of the bookshelf tour, but then since I've also kept it on my shelf, I just thought I'll show it. So these are some of the books that I have on my bookshelf. I'll also be showing you books that are a part of my book cart. That will come in a while from now. Though I've lost a lot of books or probably have given away my collection, these are some again. Amar Chitrakatha and Mythology. So this is a collection of magazine called Infinite Thoughts. It was earlier called Frozen Thoughts. It was one of my favorite magazines and I used to read it from my library. But then I decided to get a subscription and I finally did get a subscription. They stopped supplying. So these are again my Christmas gifts and other small books. Chanda Mama Stories, Jack and the Beanstalk. Nala Damayanti. So this one is Nature in Danger, The Ugly Duckling, and then stories from Panchatantra, Archie comics, and then these are motivational stories. You can see a Perry Mason again. This is from my cart. Tinkle again. Tales Known and Unknown. Motivational stories again. This is the Powerpuff Girls magazine. I'm just showing you whatever I have, okay? These are all part of my cart and my collection. Things that I've always wanted to own. This one is from Granny's Tales, and this is Tales Known and Unknown. Ruskin Bond collection. Tinkle, Archies, etc., Mahabharata. I have an obsession for mythology. It's been raining here in Bangalore for the last few days, so I just thought I'll show you this. So we conclude the bookshelf tour here. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking this video and also subscribing to my channel. It would mean the world to me if you did that. And also, if you'd like to see what's on my Kindle bookshelf, please comment below and let me know so that I can show you that as well in a separate video. So thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay blessed, and stay kind. Bye.